possible episode 13 ABO Desire spoilers from the novel. I don't know if they're gonna change or not, but as per the novel. So yeah. So after that, episode 12 ended with Sangshaya asking Hwayang if he was threatening him by talking about his father's medicine. Hwayang just smiled and replied that he doesn't have to worry, for he had already had someone deliver the medicine. And Sangshaya was shocked that Hwayang would take the initiative to have the medicines delivered continuously or something like that. And they go to the company where Sang Shayo has his meetings and all, with Hwayang staying by his side. And after the meeting was over, Sang Shayo, Chen Piming, and Hwayang were left. And Hwayang asked Chen Piming to leave them for a moment, for he had to talk with Sang Shayo. But Sang Shayo said that if Hwayang had something to talk, then he just talk it out. But Hwayang said that if Sang Shayo was okay with others hearing all the details about last night, then he would be happy. But after hearing that, Sang Shayo was stiff, his expression was stiff, and he asked Chen Bing to take one document and leave the room. And Chen Bing, noticing how awkward the atmosphere was like a man who was caught on fire. He quickly left the room. And after Chen Piming left the room, Hwayang closed the blinds and said to Sang Shayo how Chen Piming was loyal, but he lacked thoughtfulness, and it was impossible for him to stay by Sang Shayo's side 24 hours a day. And Sang Shayo said that why would he need his secretary to be by his side all the time? He said that if not, who's going to protect him? And Sang Shayo said that why would he need protection, for he was I don't know what, he was a grown man and an alpha at that. But Hwayang said that though Sang Shayo's mouth was hard, his heart was very soft, and he was very easy to deceive. And even if he made enemies, then he wouldn't realize it. And how his kidnapping case from last time has been making Hwayang feel uneasy leaving him alone. And hearing that, Sang Shayo said that who was Hwayang to worry about him, and if he had enough playing with him, then he should just get lost, the further the better. But Hwayang replied that how he was always serious with Sang Shayo, and how he was his alpha and his exclusive omega, and how he truly loves him, cares for him, and wants to protect him, and wants to take responsibility for him for the rest of his life. After hearing all that after hearing all that confession, Sang Shayo said that he did not need, but he was shot by Hwayang's kiss. The kiss, yeah, the office kiss scene happens, and after that, Sang Shayo asked what the hell he was trying to do, but Hwayang said that he wanted to pursue him, but Sang Shayo said that he doesn't like alphas. And Hwayang replied that he knows, but he still wanted to be in a romantic relationship with him. And if he doesn't like him and his face, and how he will only be ever good to him, and he will only ever like him in this lifetime and also Hwayang begged Sang Shayo to give him one more chance, for he would spend the rest of his life repaying him. And looking at Hwayang, Sang Shayo almost gave in and said okay, but he managed to rein in his feelings and asked what Hwayang even liked about him. And hearing that, Hwayang replied everything, like all of it. As long as it belonged to Sang Shayo, then he loved every single aspect of him. And after hearing Hwayang's answer, Sang Shayo thought that how it was impossible, and who in the world could truly love every aspect of another person. So he said to Hwayang that he really dared say anything, and they had not even known each other for a long time, so how could he love everything about him, Sang Shayo? To which Hwayang confessed to him knowing Sang Shayo for a very long time. And hearing that, Sang Shayo gave one last chance, and if he dare lie again, then he better get lost, the further the better again, yeah. And only then did Hwayang confess to Sang Shayo how he had been in love with him for the past 15 years, and how he has known him when Hwayang was 8 years old and Sang Shayo was 12 years old. And right now, Hwayang is 23 years old with Sang Shayo 27 years old. And after hearing all that, Sang Shayo said, was he secretly in love with him for the past 15 years? To which Hwayang replied that it wasn't a secret, and how the person who knew Hwayang all knew how Hwayang loved Sang Shayo, and he just couldn't live without, even a second without Sang Shayo and all that. And after that, Sang Shayo, what actually was happening between Hwayang and Sun Lang, and what were those injuries, and what was the talk about him taking 8 all in one night. To which Hwayang replied honestly saying that how he did it all to himself, and how that time he had his rot period along with mate seeking syndrome, so he was afraid that he would hurt Sangshaya, so he made an excuse and left. But Sangshaya said how his method for pursuing someone was very underhanded, and how his lies were so many, and his sweet talk was very terrible. To which Hwayang immediately replied that he will change and he will say whatever Sangshaya wants to hear, and even if he has to learn it, and but to just let him stay by Sangshaya's side. And to which Sangshaya, even though he knew, but he just said if he wanted to be his secretary, for he wants to keep staying by his side. And Hwayang immediately rolled into that idea by saying yes, he wants to. And Sangshaya said that being his secretary wasn't as easy as being the boss of X Holdings, and he would have to listen to him. And if Sangshaya said to go east, then he shouldn't go rolling west or something like that. To which Hwayang was all in for it. For he said that he would listen to Sangshaya and he will protect him, but his alpha self-esteem didn't take it good way. So he said that who needed his protection and all. To which Hwayang is so smart. Like, he immediately said that how he was weak and he needed Sangshaya to protect him. So with that, Hwayang successfully self-recommended to being Sangshaya's secretary, just to say myself. And as for Sumalang and Gauthu, they actually don't appear for the next few chapters in the main story of the novel. But what happens in between those chapters are written in the extras, so I'll talk about from the extras. So after Gauthu submitted his resignation and Sanwalang overheard the conversation at the hallway, he quickly transferred Gauthu to the secretary department in novel, but I forgot what it was in the drama. Because Sanwalang thought that if he doesn't see Gauthu, then he wouldn't have to think about him and be bothered by him. In the past, Sanwalang used to think that comparing Gauthu as a tail growing out of his body was rather amazing, and he liked Gauthu, or he found it endearing, Gauthu's simplicity, his clumsy demeanor. Gauthu had made Sanwalang, who was accustomed to abandonment, feel a kind of peace that he never had before. And he has always taken it for granted that Gauthu would stay by his side and never leave him. But he did not know that one day Gauthu would stand before him and hand his resignation. So yeah. And since Sanwalang missed Gauthu very much, he actually stopped using his restroom at his floor and would go downstairs to use that restroom just so he can accidentally see Gauthu. And he would even visit the secretarial department more often in order to check if they were doing their works properly and not, just so he can see Gauthu sitting behind his desk working on his stuff and all. And it actually took about a month for Gauthu to hand over his works and all. And during that whole month, Sanwalang noticed how Gauthu would often rush to the restroom and vomit, and he noticed that he was sick, but he thought that it was his stomach problems and everything. And he actually blamed Gauthu's Omega for the Omega did not notice how Gauthu was sick but dared to get pregnant. And he felt that Sanwalang was far better than that Omega, for he noticed the sick Gauthu and actually wanted to take him to the hospital for a checkup and everything. But Gauthu that time was actually avoiding Sumalang, so he wouldn't even appear in front of him. And so he once again blamed that Omega. He keeps blaming that non-existent Omega.